Now, Storm Watch 12 weather with meteorologist Josh Culbreth.
Welcome back to News Watch 12 midday. Right now you're taking a live, very blue and green look at Klamath Falls. This view coming courtesy of the Sky Lakes Medical Center. It's hard to tell if there's any haze in the sky. I can't tell if this is just kind of a natural blurring with the hills being off in the distance, but definitely less haze compared to what we're seeing in our west side valleys. 68 degrees, so right at room temperature for Klamath Falls this midday. We're primarily seeing 60s and 70s for the east side, also for west side valleys as well. And of course, we're a little bit cooler there along the coast because of the marine layer, which has provided some thick fog this morning. Not seeing so much of that right now. Look at this. Smoke is really flaring up with the Cedar Creek fire now. We are seeing not only air quality that's very unhealthy, but air quality that is hazardous up into Chutes and Douglas counties. Some of this is making its way down into the west side valleys, obviously not at the rate that we're seeing up in the Chutes and the Umpqua National Forest, but some of this streaming down into the west side valleys nonetheless. And we are seeing air quality that is unhealthy for sensitive groups in Grants Pass, just moderate for Medford. And also, we're seeing some reductions in air quality down in southwestern Siskiyou County, and that is because of the Six Rivers Lightning Complex, which is up to 97% contained, but some of the individual fires that are part of that complex are flaring up. So on our near-surface smoke forecast, you can see exactly just that in southwestern Siskiyou County, and some of the smoke that will come from the Cedar Creek fire. So a lot of this with the wind pattern, kind of the lack of wind up in the atmosphere, it's just going to kind of stay put in the west side valleys. And so we're going to expect that for the next couple of days. So obviously not what you want to see this deep into the month of October and this deep into the season of fall, but that's just where we're at because it's been so hot, so dry. So here's your hot and dry hiking forecast with all of that in mind. Temperatures today are going to be in the upper 80s to lower 90s, so about 10 to 15 degrees above average for this time of the year. So some of the hazards you might run into would be the sun itself, of course. Be sure to have the sunscreen on hand. Be sure to have the water on hand as well. And so once again, it's going to be pretty hot out there. So for today, like I've already mentioned, temperatures that feel more July-like, not necessarily October-like. We're going to be in the low to mid 80s over on the east side, near 90 degrees for west side valleys and 60s there along the coast, where we'll have more clouds than sun because of said marine layer. And then overnight, we'll continue to have more fog along the coast. Inland, we'll have some passing higher level clouds, but these are going to be harmless, unfortunately. And clouds, overnight low, I already talked about the clouds. Overnight lows, I should say, are going to feel comfortable, but still above average for this time of the year. Let's talk about some Friday night football. The Friday night Blitz game of the week is Ashland versus Marshfield. And again, it's going to feel very summer-like out there. At kickoff, the temperature is going to be in the low 80s. Clear skies, though, maybe dealing with a little bit of haze from the Cedar Creek fire, though. And then those clear conditions will continue throughout the weekend. And it's going to be pretty hot as well, near 90 degrees for both days in the Rogue Valley. Thankfully, it does look like a cold front's going to push through as we get into next week, and that'll drop temperatures down to still above average, but closer to average than what we've been over the past couple of weeks. Here's your 7-day forecast for the coast. We will see the marine layer starting to break apart as we head into Friday, more sunshine and some warmer temperatures. For Siskiyou County, we are going to be very hot over the next few days, especially when you compare to what average temperatures are for October. We will, however, cool off to near 80 degrees by the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll also see that cool down over on the east side. By the way, the latest drought monitor update came out and we didn't see any fluctuations with that. So it's good that it hasn't gotten worse, but it's bad that it hasn't gotten better. And for the Cascades and Siskiyous, we'll see a pretty dramatic reduction in temperatures as we head into next week with the cold front. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like any rain is going to come along with the cold front, at least as of now, but there are still several days for this forecast to be tweaked.
And as far as the air quality goes, we've seen some of the smoke come down from Cedar Creek fire. In previous weeks, there have been impacts on some Friday night football games because of air quality. Do we think that the smoke is going to be significant enough to have any game changes tomorrow?
It might. The fact that we're seeing air quality that's unhealthy for sensitive groups, that's a little concerning. Of course, we're going to keep a very close eye on it. But as of now, I would lean towards those games are probably going to kick off, but just something to keep in mind.
Okay. Thank you, Josh.
Of course.